As super typhoon Ragasa nears, the number 8 signal is expected to be hoisted tomorrow afternoon. Residents in low-lying areas are bracing for severe floodings, while air passengers expect disruptions to their travel plans. And commemorating Charlie Kirk at a memorial, U.S. President Donald Trump says, unlike Kirk, he hates his opponents. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. The city is on high alert as Super Typhoon Ragasa nears and will be closest to Hong Kong on Wednesday morning, posing risks and dangers. At 9:40 p.m. tonight, the number 3 strong wind signal will be hoisted, with the possibility of upgrading to number 8 between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow. The weather is expected to deteriorate rapidly, and the government is urging the public to remain vigilant. All schools will be suspended for 2 days. Jeremy Zhu has more.
Ahead of the storm, many vessels have returned to typhoon shelters for safety. Staff of the coastal housing estate Heng Fa Chun have taken precautionary measures, installing flood barriers at building entrances, taping glass doors and windows, stacking sandbags and sealing lift entrances to prevent flooding. The mature super typhoon comes with extensive circulation and a distinct eye. It is not expected to weaken significantly before making landfall, posing a considerable threat.
Ragasa will come closest to Hong Kong on the morning of Wednesday. The weather will be persistently worse on that day. Gale to storm force wind will prevail locally, and winds may reach hurricane force offshore and on high ground. There will be frequent heavy squall showers and thunderstorms.
In light of the severe weather, the Education Bureau has announced that all schools will be closed for the next 2 days. The deadline for Primary 1 discretionary place applications has been extended to next Tuesday. Once the number 8 signal is issued and throughout Wednesday, non-urgent public hospital services will be suspended, while emergency services will operate as usual. Temporary shelters will open at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and a 24-hour emergency hotline operated by the Home Affairs Department will be activated for public inquiries. Jeremy Chu, Cable News.
Bracing for the hurricane-level storm, residents in low-lying areas are being urged to evacuate or prepare for significant flooding, with forecasts predicting water levels could exceed 1 meter in 11 high-risk locations such as Tai O and Lei Yu Mun. Quinton Yang reports.
Emergency teams are already assisting some high-risk communities by installing flood barriers and distributing sandbags. In Tai O, residents are racing to prepare for the potential threats over the next few days. One restaurant owner, fearing the area will definitely turn into a river, plans to suspend operations tomorrow. District Council and care teams are helping approximately 100 households in stilt houses, raise furniture, and are strongly encouraging evacuation. The urgency is echoed elsewhere in San Mun Cai village. An 80-year-old grandma recalling previous typhoons said she's very afraid and will evacuate to her daughter's home or a church. The Drainage Services Department has flagged 11 low-lying areas, including Tai O's Wing On Street, Lei Yu Mun's Seafood Street, and San Mun Cai Village in Tai Po as highly vulnerable, with projected flood depths of 0.6 to 1 meter. The DSD also highlights that the Tolo Harbor area faces especially perilous conditions, with water levels possibly rising 4 to 5 meters above chart datum and peaking Wednesday morning. The department has enhanced its response, deploying 200 emergency teams and adding 4 powerful drainage robots to its fleet. However, the director admitted that if the water level rises significantly over coastal lines, the water pumping robots may not be that efficient. Quintin Ya, Cable News.
Inspecting the typhoon preventive measures, Chief Secretary Eric Chan urged residents in flood-prone areas to evacuate voluntarily. He also appealed to employers to offer flexibility and respond with compassion when workers face commuting challenges after the storm. Jamie Liu has the story.
This afternoon, Chen and several officials visited the coastal village of Lei to assess readiness for a potentially unprecedented storm. The chief secretary also inspected the deployment of water pumping robots and the setting up of flood barriers and sandbags in the seafood market. After the tour, the city's #2 official warned that Super Typhoon Ragasa could pose a serious threat to Hong Kong. Chen said while most residents are safe at their own homes, he advised those in high-risk areas, such as flooding black spots, to voluntarily evacuate to government shelters in advance. In what could be a stern warning for thrill-seeking storm chasers, Chen urged residents not to put themselves and rescuers in danger, otherwise police may take enforcement actions. Addressing workforce concerns, Chen called on bosses to prioritize their workers' safety as the storm subsides and work resumes. Heavy rain and strong winds can make it difficult for them to get to work. You should adopt a flexible and compassionate approach, he told employers. The chief secretary warned that if an employer's negligence results in an employee's injury, they could be in breach of the law. Earlier, the city's chief, John Lee, visited the Emergency Monitoring and Support Center. He has directed all government departments not to underestimate the potential danger of Ragasa, warning that its impact could reach the severe levels inflicted by typhoons Hato in 2017 and Mangkhut in 2018. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
The impending storm is causing severe disruptions to air traffic. The airport authority has announced significant flight cancellations starting Tuesday evening, with even more flights barred from flying above the city's grounds all day Wednesday. As the strongest super typhoon in years bears down on Hong Kong, the airport authority has made the drastic decision to ground flights from Tuesday evening through Thursday morning.
We expect that from 6 o'clock tomorrow, there will be significant reductions of landing and departure of aircraft because of unfavorable wind conditions. And there will be very limited movements. On Wednesday, we expect that most of the movements may be affected.
The city's flag carrier Cathay Pacific is expected to cancel over 500 flights. Its budget subsidiary HK Express is also grounding more than 100 flights. While several airlines have announced that affected passengers can reschedule flights at no extra cost, travelers are scrambling to adjust their plans. A woman shared her distress, facing multiple challenges with her trip, including rebooking flights and hotels earlier than planned, worried that disruptions could affect her work. Others have chosen to extend their holidays to wait out the typhoon. The airport authority reassured that the airport will remain open throughout the storm, and their passenger care team will be deployed to assist travelers at the airport, offering drinking water and snacks. It pledged to work closely with airlines, the weather watchdog, and the Civil Aviation Department to resume airport operations as soon as the weather permits. Meanwhile, cities along the southern coast of mainland as well as Taiwan are intensifying evacuations and emergency measures as Ragasa is expected to wreak havoc across the region, with precise landing spot uncertain. Quinton Yang reports.
The strong cyclone, with sustained winds of the highest 17th category, is expected to enter the northeastern South China Sea early tomorrow morning, before making landfall between central Guangdong and northeastern Hainan Island from early Wednesday afternoon. Guangdong's meteorological department has warned that Ragasa possesses extreme intensity and a large wind field with potential for sudden track changes and multiple landfalls. Coastal cities are implementing drastic precautions. Shenzhen has activated a Level 3 emergency response, the third highest level, preparing 865 emergency shelters for planned relocation of some 400,000 people. Local authorities are urging households to stock at least 3 days' worth of essential supplies. Zhuhai and Jiangmen have also taken a drastic step of ordering a full shutdown, with all work, classes, and public transport to be suspended from Tuesday. Meanwhile, railway services across the province will be widely disrupted. High-speed and conventional train operations will gradually halt from tomorrow noon, with a full shutdown of all services on Wednesday. Across the strait, Taiwan felt Ragasa's force first, as its outer rain bands battered southern counties, churning up monstrous waves that prompted emergency village evacuations and the frantic building of flood barriers. Kun Tian, Cable News.
Britain, Canada, Australia and Portugal have formally recognized a Palestinian state in a fresh push for a two-state solution, marking the first members of the G7 advanced economies to take the step. In defiance, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ruled out the prospect and blasted the move as a reward to terrorism. Jamie Liu tells us more.
That the United Kingdom formally recognises the State of Palestine.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer made the announcement alongside his counterparts in Canada and Australia, insisting that a two-state solution is the only way to a lasting peace for the Israeli and Palestinian people. The three Commonwealth nations criticized Israel for expanding illegal settlements in the West Bank and sustained deadly assaults in Gaza. They condemned Hamas as a brutal terrorist group that has long rejected Israel's existence and continues to hold hostages.
This solution is not a reward for Hamas because it means Hamas can have no future, no role in government, no role in security.
Portugal also backed statehood for Palestine and called for an urgent ceasefire. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas welcomed the recognition as a step toward peaceful coexistence between Palestine and Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu criticized the Western states for giving a huge award to terrorism and vowed that the establishment of a Palestinian state will not happen. Netanyahu said he would announce Israel's response after a trip next week to the U.S., where he is to meet President Donald Trump at the White House. Western media analysis said Israel could respond by annexing parts of the West Bank, which had previously suggested by Netanyahu's right-wing cabinet members. More than 140 countries have already recognized a Palestinian state, with others expected to follow at the United Nations General Assembly this week in New York. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
In a memorial ceremony to commemorate U.S. far-right activist Charlie Kirk, his widow delivered a powerful message of forgiveness toward the killer, whereas U.S. President Donald Trump stated that he, unlike Kirk, hates his opponents. A packed arena in Glendale, Arizona hosted over 90,000 people, joined by top U.S. officials and prominent figures to honor Kirk. A sea of red, white and blue filled the venue with American flags waving and a large poster of Kirk displayed on stage as a tribute. The evening blended mourning with calls for political action and reflections on religious faith as speakers took the stage. But the emotional peak came when Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, delivered a powerful message of forgiveness toward her husband's killer.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love and always love.
Trump hailed Kirk as a great American hero and martyr, but avoided calls for unity.
He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them.
He wrapped up his speech by calling Erica Kirk back up to the stage as the two shared a hug while the crowd applauded. While the memorial may have offered a moment of closure for many, it also underscored the deep political divisions and tensions that continue to grip America. Let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 200 points. Top active stocks of the day, Tracker Fund was down 24 cents, SMIC was up $3.60. Tencent was down $1.50, Meituan was down $2.40. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, euro 9.15, Canadian dollar 5.62. On to the weather now, mainly cloudy, hot with sunny intervals during the day. The weather will deteriorate rapidly with squally showers and thunderstorms later tomorrow. Moderate to fresh northerly winds at first. Winds will strengthen progressively tomorrow, reaching gale force winds later. Seas will be very rough with swells. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.